سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ثم أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. All thanks and praise go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We seek refuge with Allah from our bad deeds, our bad action. The one whom Allah guide, no one will misguide. And the one who's misguided, no one will guide. And I bear witness there is no one worthy of worship but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his messenger and slave. Indeed, the best of the speech is the speech of the Quran. The best of the guidance is the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The worst of the matters in our religion is the innovation. Each innovation can be a misguide, and each misguide can lead us to the hellfire. اللهم لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. This verse we hear every Jum'ah. In this verse, Allah is addressing the believers. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله, fear Allah, حق تقاته, the way should be feared. ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون, and do not die ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون, and do not die except to die as a Muslim. عن عبد الله بن مسعود رضي الله عنه قال أن يطاع الله فلا يعصى وأن يذكر فلا ينسى. That the taqwa, or to be closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you remember Allah all the time, and you don't forget about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then in the other part of the ayah, Allah says, وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ, and do not die except to die as a Muslim. فَكَيْفَ لَنَا ذَلِكَ? How can we die Muslim? Nobody can guarantee what status and where and how you're going to die. So you must live Islam in order for you to die Islam. فإن حافظت على الإسلام في حياتك وصحتك ويومك وليلك, إذن بإذن الله تموت على الإسلام. فكما جرت العادة أنه من عاش على شيء مات عليه, ومن مات على شيء بعث عليه, ومن بعث على شيء لقى الله به عز وجل. Is to be fair is when somebody live on something, believe in something, then they will die and whatever they were practicing, and they will stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on what they were practicing and what they were believing. As simple as that. فنسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن نموت على الإسلام. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we die as a Muslim. الذين توفاهم الله البارحة كانوا يظنون أنهم سيعيشون اليوم. The people who died yesterday, they were thinking they're going to be with us today. And the people with us today, they think they're going to witness tomorrow. But nobody can guarantee that. Nobody can guarantee that. So especially when Allah sends opportunities for us to grab on and take our level from your normal practice as a Muslim, as most of us get satisfied with right now. And that's the plan that they planned 100 years ago for all of us as a Muslim.
they said how we can take these people to be a leader, to be a followers. Because these people, when they follow their deen, they rule the earth. So what can we do with them? Then let them take their deen from practice to just salah, zakat, sawm, hajj, and that's it. And most of us live that now. إِلَّا مَنْ رَحِمَ رَبِّي. A lot of us live like that. Except whom Allah bless to understand what He lives for. Some of us, they think because they perform the 5 prayers, and yet maybe they perform it all together by the end of the night, which is not allowed. Each prayer has its time to pray. But I have a very good excuse why you didn't pray. Very, very good excuse why you didn't perform this prayer, right? And some of us, they want to pay the zakat, if they pay the zakat, and if they get the opportunity to go to Hajj, and when Ramadan comes, fast in and out, right? Nothing happened in the heart, except in Ramadan, maybe a little bit cry, a little bit coming to the masajid more, but then I go back after Ramadan as if nothing happened. Everything the same. Everything the same. And yet people spend a lot of money, a lot of effort, they go for Hajj, they come back. So ibadat. The deen become as a ibadah. And that's exactly what the Christian fall into. Do not just make the separation between the church and outside life. And they want the Muslim to be that, like that. And they were successful to a certain limit. But this is the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we're not gonna do it, then Allah will send other people to do it. Allah will have other people to do it. So we must live Islam. We must breathe Islam. Ramadan is coming soon. And you must plan and figure out how would this Ramadan be different than the one before. And what will be your condition after Ramadan. Because the one among us, when they go visit the Kaaba, and this is the personal experience. I miss you. I went to Umrah and I just came back. May Allah accept, inshallah. And it was a trip for 10 days. A little bit more, 12 days. I was spending 5 days or 3 days in Medina and the rest in Mecca. First time for me to go and spend more time in Mecca than Medina. Always my heart's attached to Medina. Every time I go to Saudi Arabia, it's just my heart is there. And most of the people, they will tell you that. It's the place of Rasulullah, the place of Rasulullah, make dua for it, the way the people deal with you, it just comes. And this is the first time for me to go to Mecca. And when I was leaving, I felt like somebody is holding to my heart before I leave because of the Kaaba. I don't know what happened, subhanAllah. It was more days in Kaaba, in Mecca. And then Umrah is not like Hajj. Umrah is, you're there. You're in the Haram. Go to sleep, eat, go stay in the Haram. Sleep, eat, go stay in the Haram. Stay, watch the Kaaba from the 3rd floor. You pray, you read Quran, and you watch the people making dua. And 24/7, going around the Kaaba, different languages, worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you feel the sweetness of the Iman. You feel what you live for. When Allah says, I created the man and the jinn to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so you understand this ayah because you felt the sweetness of it while there. Exact same feeling like Ramadan, like most of us in Ramadan. So when you leave, when I left, I felt like, wow, I made dua to see the Kaaba again. I'm just leaving, I don't want to even turn my back. I'm walking and my head is like going like that. That's the house that Allah built, right? This is just feeling when Allah sends something in your way, and then you feel it. So Ramadan is the same thing. Ramadan is the same thing. Ramadan comes, and time goes by very quickly, and then before you know it, Ramadan is over. So we must plan very well for this Ramadan, because by the end of the day, what status you want to die in? وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. Do not die except on Islam. So how can I do that? Now, in our time, you see an old man dying on his bed, and all of a sudden, he wake up from a coma, reciting Quran. Reality. And it's happening now, in our time. Another one is an anesthesia, right? Anesthesia, and he's waking up, making adhan, and go back. Subhanallah. This is what you see. Somebody die in the haram, in a rawda, in the state of sujood. Brother, just maybe a few months back. I guess he was a professor in Jordan, and then he went to Medina making Umrah, or whatever the visit was, and he died while he was making sujood. And some died with the ihram. And a few weeks back, a lady died, was dancing in the street. Muslim. Dancing. Nas'al Allah al-afiyah. And some, there will be young in the car driving, the car in accident, and they die, and people come to tell them, say La ilaha illallah, and say, give me a cigarette. I need to smoke. Say La ilaha illallah, tell you, just I need to smoke. Right? Nas'al Allah al-afiyah. So, what status we're going to die on? We don't know. This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This was the topic of my khutbah last week. Su' al-khatima wa husn al-khatima. And maybe some of you were there, but it's good. It's a reminder for me and a reminder for you too. And we try to mix a little bit with what's coming in Ramadan. But inshallah, if we talk about something, we like always to share it in different communities so we can get the benefit of it. So it's Su' al-khatima wa husn al-khatima wa thabat ala al-haq wa al-ibra bil-khawatim. The good ending, the bad ending, and that you stood fast, and the deen. And then what's going to be your end, the end of the time. We don't know that. But at least, as they said, the real good horse will give their best in the last round. But they know. And if somebody in the race, they know the race will end, and they will give their best in the end of the race. But how are we going to know when it's going to be the end so we can give the best? So we're always in that status that anything can happen. SubhanAllah. And if you praying behind the Imam today in Salat al-Isha, if you came in and you're praying behind the Imam and you decide to make taslim before the Imam does, your Salah is batil. Salah is that count. Right? And if you're in Ramadan fasting all day, and just you decide to break your fast before Maghrib, with at least a few minutes, your fasting is not counted. So the completion, the end of it, how it's going to be. We must think about that, because this is the reality. But we don't know, as we said, we don't know when it's going to be. وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ مَاذَا تَكْسِبُ غَدًا وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ بِأَيِّ أَرْضٍ تَمُوتُ. The verse says, there's no soul will know what's going to gain tomorrow, what's your risk, what Allah will provide for you tomorrow. Nobody can tell that. Even though if you have a job, if you have a salary, if you have a paycheck coming to you, you still don't know. You might get sick and you don't get anything, and you might get a raise. You might inherit something. You don't know. And at the same time, you don't know where you're going to die. You don't know. Today in the khutbah, we were talking about Sulaiman alayhi salam. And he's the prophet that Allah gave him certain ability, right? Such what? Yes.
Oh, he talked to the animals.
Yes.
He controlled the weather.
MashaAllah.
And he had an army of jinn and angels.
Okay.
And other people.
MashaAllah. Come sit down here. MashaAllah. Ahsan. Jazakallah. Okay, good. That's the knowledge we need to teach our kids, right? Prophets, Sahaba, companions, they need to know. And it's reality, it's real, it's in the Quran, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, true. Allah gives Sulaiman the ability to control the wind. فَسَخَّرْنَا لَهُ الرِّيحِ تَجْرِي بِأَمْرِهِ. Allah gave him the ability of the wind. So in one of the Israeliyat is the stories before, came from Bani Israel, and us as a Muslim, some of them they are authentic and will take. That's just to tell you that you don't know where you're going to die. And these stories that when Sulaiman alayhi salam was sitting down with his close friend, one of them is the ministry, I guess, high status with Sulaiman, and all of a sudden this person came and sitting down, and he was looking for him very short, looking at him very short, scared. The person gets scared, and he said, why does this person look at me like that? So when he left, he asked Sulaiman, who is this person? Allah said, you don't know him? He's the angel of death. Came in the form of a human, and he's gone. So he was like, angel of death, come and look at me like this. I cannot stay here anymore. I cannot be here in this town. Just order the wind and take me as far as I can from here. So Sulaiman ordered the wind to take him where? To India. Far from where he's at. Then a little while, the angel of death came back to Sulaiman. So Sulaiman alayhi salam goes, you scared that person. They were looking at him very tough and get scared. He said, I was very puzzled because Allah ordered me to take his soul in India. And he was here sitting with you. So I was thinking how I'm going to do that. وما تدري نفس ماذا تكسب غدا وما تدري نفس بأي أرض تموت. You run for death, from death to death. تهرب من قدر الله إلى قدر الله. You run away from what you think is fair or whatever, and you walk into it, you run into it. وجاءت سكرة الموت بالحق ذلك ما كنت منه تحيد. عليكم السلام. And the time and the soul will be coming out of you, the angel of death will come to take it, and this is going to happen. So the question again, what status that you're going to die at? إذا لابد من الاستعداد في كل لحظة. إذا أمسيت فلا تنتظر الصباح وإذا أصبحت فلا تنتظر المساء. Very good policy to live with. When you go to sleep, do not accept that you're going to be awake in the morning. And when you wake up in the morning, don't expect you're going to go to sleep. I think today was a janazah. And every day is a janazah. So whether you get a text message or you don't get a text message. And when you go to Harami, after every single prayer, it doesn't just say pray on one person. As-salah ala amwat. And yet, if you are in Medina, you'll be able to walk with them and go and see the janazah just in front of you. People carrying everywhere, right? So when you live with this mentality, if you go to sleep, don't expect to wake up. And when you wake up, don't expect to go to sleep. You are ready. You are on standby. This is the end of the race for us. Why? Because this dunya is tough. It's a test. It sucks people from thinking about where is the end, and it keeps them there. And if you ask anybody when you die, are you going to take your status? You're a president now. Are you going to take the chair with you? Are you going to take your bank account? Are you going to take your cars? And are you going to take your houses with you? Nothing. Nothing. Reality is nothing. All what they're going to take is their good deed, good action. Find something that you can do for this deen. So when you die, it will remain for you. A few days back, I was in this masjid close to you here, Islamic School of Miami, and every day after Salat al-Isha, only a couple of days I stay there for Isha, usually I'm in the north, but I see brothers come, and there's a tree there, and they take something from it, and they leave. And me and another brother, we say, what they taking of this tree every day? They come in and they grab, something from it. And then the brother told me, hey, I find out. We ask, and we find out there is a special, I think plants in this tree that they take, and if they cut it, and they put it with the rice, and if they boil it, it's very good for their stomach. It's very, very good. And guess who planted? I said who? He said the mu'adhin, Hidayah, rahmatullah alayh. We buried a brother a few years back, and he used to be the mu'adhin there for years, and he used to take care of the masjid. But you just tell me what kind of reward he's getting right now for something he planned for the Muslim. As simple as that, just a tree for people to take benefit of it, or maybe even take a shadow of it, said under it. Very simple action, very small thing. So that's what you really need to think about. What I can do, not necessarily you have to go and build a tree now, or plant a tree, but just something. What can I do for the deen? I have a masjid, I have a community, I have a school, I have kids, I have something. I need to do something for this deen, because when I'm done, this is what's really gonna last for me, right? We must think like that, and it's a balance. It's also always a balance. This هذا لا يتعارض مع التمتع بحياتك. Never will be a conflict between enjoying your life, your wife, your kids, your job. When you really look that you want to satisfy Allah, you will live beautiful life, enough to have peace of mind, that you will doing everything according to what Allah wants. فما فرح أهل الدنانير بدنانيرهم ولا أهل المناصب بمناصبهم ولكن فرح أهل الإيمان بحلاوة إيمانهم. This is a fact. The people with a lot of money, they will reach a level of happiness, and then doesn't matter. Maybe they don't even know how to count their money anymore. They're beyond that. And also when they keep reaching status after status, that's it. But the people who really truly in the happiness on the face of the earth, the one they feel the sweetness of the Iman. The one they really, when Ramadan comes, their heart is just bumping. This is Iman. When Ramadan leaves, they cry. Because Ramadan is no longer, I'm going to be spending time to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People that they can wait for a halaqah or a gathering that they're going to come to mention Allah in it. These are the moment. These are, the time that the people really, their iman and their happiness will lift. They will forget everything else except enjoy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First, as we said, that's the status we should be in Ramadan, inshallah. Okay. 2 minutes and 7 minutes. Okay, they told me to finish 9:45, so we got 7 minutes. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some reasons what will stop us to work into the good ending. ذكر العلماء بعض أسباب سوء الخاتمة. Some of the ulama, they talk about the bad ending and what could be the reason for it. Okay, فساد العقيدة, the main thing is when your aqidah, where your understanding of this deen is corrupt. That's the problem. Because anything you built on that, it's false. It's false. You cannot build a very nice building and you don't have any foundation. The building will collapse. Doesn't matter how nice is the building, how beautiful, everything in it, the building will collapse. Same thing for the Muslim. If you don't have good aqidah, good understanding of the deen, if you don't know how to worship Allah the way that Allah wants you to worship, you are in the wrong direction. You are in the wrong direction. Very simple. Other than that, everybody will worship Allah the way that they want it to worship. And then you have different, ways of deen and different Islam. And that's why it's very important when you see brothers comes here and they try always to talk about the aqidah. As they said, always we talk about it. Always we talk about it. Then that's the tawheed. That's what Allah sent all the Prophet with. Even though if you have non-Muslims and you want to talk to him about Islam, what most of the ulama recommend you to speak to? Tawheed. Say La ilaha illallah. Yes, tawheed. La ilaha illallah. I don't worship anything by Allah. I don't go to the grave to ask somebody to get me closer to Allah. I don't have such a thing called wali. Somebody reaches status in iman that he's very close to Allah, so if I want to get closer to Allah, I have to go through him. We don't have that in the deen. This is aqeedah. This is aqeedah. And you must stay fast on it. You must be very strong about it. It's black and white. And now we live in a time that if you talk about this, they come and they tell you, you separate the Muslim. Don't talk about these things. No, we say they are separating the Muslim. They are the one who created division in the Muslim. Because when we say we want to stick to the road of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we want to stick to aqidah that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us. That anybody comes in the side trying to be creative with bid'ah, with things other than what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us, then we stay away from it. And we warn about it. And we make dua for them to come back to the straight path. As simple as that. But we cannot just be quiet. And we cannot say it's okay. Because that's the reason where is the ummah at today. Most of the major Muslim country, They might be Sufi, and they don't even know it. That's the problem. They think they worship Allah perfect. They go dance in some masajid. They do certain things. They have masajid with the grave in it. And you see people walking in. Like one day one of the vacation I was visiting back home. And I went, Jum'ah was on. So I went to a masjid called Sidi Bish. Should have known, you know? I didn't know. So I walk in, pray Jum'ah. MashaAllah, the minbar was like, you have to do like this to see the muazzin, MashaAllah, was maybe up to here. A lot of people coming in and I'm praying, you know. After I finish praying, I'm leaving. I see people coming in with fruits and bags and vegetables. I said, where's these people going? It's a masjid. And I see a side like this and I see a grave. And people coming in, leaving stuff and going. I realized Sidi Bishr, a guy by the name of Bishr, they bury him there. And they call it Sidi Bishr. It's my Sidi, like Sidi is like my, I guess,
Master.
my master Bishr. And people coming in and trying to give يعني خرافات. This is not Islam. Huh?
The custodian of this.
And we have it in a lot of Muslim countries, right? This is aqeedah. This is what we're talking about. So if this you will let it go, then be careful how you're gonna end. Be careful that's su'ul khatim. You're gonna be careful. You have to build yourself and your kids on understanding the aqeedah. What's between us and anybody with the bid'ah innovation is the Quran and the Sunnah and the understanding of the Sahaba. We sit together, you come up with one, whatever you want to come up with the deen, and let's put it on the Quran. And let's put it in front of the Sunnah. And let's put it in front of the understanding of the Sahaba. And if that's what they done, we'll be the first one to do it. What they did, that will be the first one we do. If it's not, then we throw it. Throw it away. And stay away from it. So that's one. The ulama says, الانغماس في المعاصي والمبالغة فيها. When you underestimate the sin, then it becomes habit, and you keep doing it. ابن القيم في الجواب الكافي قال من آثار المعاصي أنها تكتب لصاحبها سوء الخاتمة. Ibn al-Qayyim, he wrote down in his book, he said, one of the results of the ma'asi, when you keep sinning, it will write on the person who sinned bad ending. سوء الخاتمة. والعياذ بالله. So you gotta be careful. لا تنظر إلى المعصية ولكن انظر إلى من عصيت. And do not look into the ma'asiyah, how big is it, how small. Look at who's you committing this ma'asiyah against. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you underestimate certain things here and there, and you let it go, then that's the problem. خلي الذنوب صغيرها وكبيرها ذاك التقى واصنع كماش فوق أرض الشوك يحذر ما يرى لا تحقرن صغيرة إن الجبال من الحصى. Do not let go with these sins, the large and the small. This is the tuqwa. This is how you become as among the muttaqeen. And do like you walk in the street with glasses thrown away. You're going to be careful when you walk into this. That's the dunya. You're going to be very careful. I'm going to get something in my foot. I'm going to get harm. I have to be careful all the time. And do not underestimate a little small rocks, because you see the big mountain is made from very small rocks, one next to another, and you see a big mountain in front of you. So don't overestimate the sins. So inshallah, we'll finish with this. The ulama mentioned a lot of reasons, but the time is already up. So inshallah, I think Ramadan is coming within a month and a half maybe, inshallah. So we must inshallah plan for it. I always say, وَلَوْ أَرَادُوا رَمَضَانَ لَأَعَدُّوا لَهُ عُدَّةً. And if they want Ramadan, they would have prepared for it. If you really want Ramadan, you must prepare for it. Like you prepare for your vacation, you prepare for everything else, must plan for Ramadan. What I'm going to do in this Ramadan to get closer to Allah. What I'm going to do to lift my iman up. Right? Ramadan is the best comes in our way throughout. Ramadan is like Yusuf to his brothers that live. The best out to the 11th month. This is the comparison, This is the best month in the sight of Allah. And there's a reason for it. Because the first day you become muhsin, just like that. Just like that. You come from the level of Islam or Iman to Ihsan, immediately, from the first night of Ramadan. You worship Allah and you know that Allah is watching you all the time. So you always be careful with your action. That's what Ramadan does to us. We want to gain this after Ramadan. We want to be like that after Ramadan. That's what we need to learn from Ramadan. Ramadan, Allah tells you, look at your soul, the one it is moving you, and you follow your desire and you follow your hawa. Ramadan comes and tells you you are in control of this desire. Because whatever is halal for you, you stay away from. Drinking, eating, it's halal stuff. But you control yourself and you didn't do it for almost 12 hours. So what was the haram stuff? What's too difficult for you? You already stopped drinking. Even though if Allah tests you with the smoking, right, you're able to stop smoking, mashallah, for 12 hours. Great opportunity to stop it. Do you think as soon as the Maghrib Adhan comes in, the first thing they start, maybe smoke a cigarette, right? May Allah, inshallah, let them go out, of this, because this is really something will harm the body of a Muslim. If I have a brother who does it, then we advise for them that's for their own health, for their own family, for their own money, for what Allah likes, right? And you make tawakkul. But if you're able to stay 12 hours without drinking and eating, I bet you can quit smoking after 30 days. As Allah giving you a great opportunity for that month to do. Allah is telling you, you are my slave. You will never gonna eat before Maghrib. And he said, yes, Master, I obey. Yes, of course. I won't dare to eat 1 minute before Maghrib. Why is that? Because Allah didn't order you to do it yet. That's obedience. Full obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You take this out of Ramadan. So after Ramadan, when Allah asks me, don't do that, yes, full obedience. That's what you learn in Ramadan. So I ask Allah to put a good plan for Ramadan. The young one here, mashallah, and the old one sit as a family and try to, inshallah, come up with things to do in Ramadan. Maybe the story of the prophets. If some of you don't know, the rest need to let each other know. Maybe you do a cycle like that, a young cycle, the youth sit down together. And then maybe talk about the Sahaba, talk about the prophets, learn and increase your iman, right? Tomorrow we're not going to be here, the young one will be here, inshallah. You are the one who's going to take the flag of the Islam. You're the one who's going to invite other people to Islam. You're the one who's going to teach others about the Islam. But if you don't know it, you're not going to be able to share it with somebody else. You need to learn. Because what you have, nobody else has. What you have, Islam, what Allah give you, nobody else has on the face of the earth. So this is an amana, this is a trust that Allah has given you. And you need to deliver. It's good to be successful in the school. It's good you become a doctor, you become an engineer, you become what you want to do. That's very important. But if all that comes and you don't know anything about your Islam, this is nothing. You gain nothing. Right? Agree? جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.